Hello and welcome back to She's at the Vicarage, and I thought we'd take a step back and go back to last summer, and I'd share with you a little bit about our minimalist travelling, interrailing around Europe as a family. And so our journey probably officially began when we got the Eurostar from London to Paris. And as we talk about our journey, I thought I'd share with you what we took with us on this trip. So these are our 4 rucksacks that we took, and slowly I'm unpacking them. And the first thing I do is unpack the clothes. And so we got the Eurostar to Paris. We arrived quite late at night, but got up early in the morning to walk and see the Eiffel Tower. And so these are some photos as we got closer and closer to the Eiffel Tower, ending up standing underneath the Eiffel Tower. Spending 2 weeks outside, I felt a bit caged in the house, so I thought I'd come out and show you the crockery, the things that we took with us. Now, we did take 4 plates and 4 bowls, and these are our camping plates and bowls, and these are all going to just be washed in the dishwasher and then go back away in my camp box. I am going to go through my camp box and see if there's anything to declutter, but realistically, we used the plates once in 2 weeks. Didn't eat every night at the tent, and we used bowls for breakfast. So really, if I did this again, I'd probably not take the plates, but we had the 4 bowls. And then along with the 4 bowls, we actually had sporks. That's the only utensils I had, and if you can see closely on my poor spork, I used that to turn burgers over in the pan, and so my spork got a bit damaged, but really we managed to camp for 2 weeks just with sporks and bowls. Now, I took along with us 4 mugs as well, and the family were a bit like, I wish we got cups, but we didn't really use these mugs at all. We used 2 of them probably, so we probably didn't need to take all 4 mugs, but what we did use were these cups that we collected at the Eiffel Tower with our drinks at the bottom of the Eiffel Tower. And we got 3 of those, and so we made the most of those and transported those around with us, so they're a little memento. We also had drinks bottles. We've lost 2 of the drink bottle on our journey, but we've got 2 left, so they also need to go in the dishwasher. And then cooking wise, I bought one of these little 4-person tranjas sets, and so it's 2 lids, 2 bowls, and then a frying pan, and these all work same handle, and they were fantastic. But the frying pan, as you can see, probably needs a good clean. I might soak that before putting it in the dishwasher. That was our cooking utensils, and so that's all really that we had for our kitchen supplies. There's a few extra things. I did take this grater with us, and the reality is, in Europe, if you want grated cheese, it's grated for you. So I'm actually going to declutter that. I've not used it. It's got no purpose in my house day to day. And then I've also got a little pink chopping board, which I did use from time to time. So that's quite helpful to have. Probably needed the chopping board more than the plates. And then also, just to go in the dishwasher as well, is a little pot that I put some of our wash powder in. And so I was able to do washing along the 2 weeks, so that too can be washed out and put in the dishwasher. The only other parts that we had were some Ziploc bags. I did take those, and they did come in really handy to put different things in, different foods in, because we didn't have a fridge, we didn't have any food storage or anything as we went along. So the Ziploc bags, and some of them are still clean. Probably didn't need to take as many as I took, but some need cleaning out. So that's our next job. Let's load the dishwasher. It was Eiffel Tower in the morning, and then we went through the beautiful French countryside, heading into Switzerland for our next night's sleep, where we slept on a campsite in Zurich on the lake. It was a lovely little campsite. There weren't allocated plots. We had booked to be on this campsite, but as you can see, we were very closely packed together. But we found a little spot for our 2 tents, put our tents up, and then went to the local restaurant for fish and chips. This is the view from the restaurant as we walked back alongside the lake. A beautiful view. And why had we stopped in Zurich? Well, I am a chocolate lover, and we couldn't resist going that following morning to see the lint factory. We enjoyed going into the shop and seeing all the lint balls, all the different flavours. We selected a few to take with us on our journey. It's an incredible factory with chocolate pouring down in the entrance hall. As you can see, lots of people stopping to take photos. And then we walked back through Zurich to the train station that afternoon to get on the next train to visit our next country. As you can see on the map, we travelled to our third country for the third night of sleep. We went to Lake Como in Italy, and from this view you can see we're in a car. I didn't quite allow for the size of Lake Como, so we got the train into Como, and then we needed to get to Menaggio, which was the campsite that I'd booked, and so we hired a car to get us from Como to Menaggio, and we enjoyed driving round Lake Como in our car. Again, this was another campsite that I booked, but unfortunately the plot that we were given was incredibly tiny. On a ledge, the wall leads up to the main road, and then the other side of the ledge drops down to a caravan. We were going to stay here for a number of nights, but decided after 2 nights that it was enough time. But that didn't stop us enjoying Menaggio and getting the boat across to Verona, which you can see on the other side. You might wonder how we slept in the tent. Well, we each had one of these mattresses I need to clean. They're self-inflating mattresses. They were okay. They're very hard. They did the job. So I need to take those out and clean them. We each had a pillow. And then we also took these pillows but didn't use them. So that was a waste. That was something unnecessarily to carry, which are travel pillows. Then we each had a sleeping bag, liner sleeping bag, because it was quite hot most of the time. There was just the odd occasion where it was freezing cold and we got quite cold, but they had the normal one, and then I couldn't resist the mummy liner. So the sleeping bags need to go in the washing machine, and the rest is going to be wiped down with disinfectant. Verona was indeed beautiful, as was Menaggio, and my love for Italy continues. And so, as I shared with you, this was the bedding that we took. I got a boiling bowl of Dettol and then just wiped down the pillows, put them on the washing line, and you'll see that the sun is just there in the background, so I moved the mattresses to dry in the sun. Shoes are heavy, so minimalist travel. What shoes did you take? Well, as you can see, we had 2 pairs of Crocs and then 2 pairs of flip-flops, and my husband was the only one that took an additional footwear with him that he didn't wear all the time. He took his trainers, but I walked around the whole of Europe simply in my flip-flops, and it was fine. And so that was our shoes, and we each had a pack-a-mac to keep us dry, and we sat on some wet ground on them, so they didn't actually get used during the day, except for being good seats. So 4 balls, very lightweight, ready to go back in the cloakroom. And after just a couple of nights in Lake Como, we were back on the trains, and as you can see from this map, we stayed within Italy and we moved from Lake Como to Venice, and a much more beautiful campsite. It had its own plot. We even had a picnic bench, the first site we had where we had somewhere to sit other than our cagoules. This campsite is actually located in Mestre, which is very near Venice, and it was just a short bus ride into the main hub of Venice and to see the beautiful canals and the beauty of Venice. The reason we chose to go to Venice was because I desperately wanted to go to Murano and see the glass after reading Tracy Chevalier's The Glassmaker, fantastic book, and it was lovely after reading that earlier in the year to get to go and experience Venice in all its beauty and all the sunshine. It was lovely to be there. And after 3 nights in Venice, we were back on the train again and travelling to our next country. But before I tell you where we went to next, back to me packing away our minimalist backpacks. You might be surprised to hear that actually we carried more stuff as well. So we had a box of matches as an extra, had some Bible notes and some books. We each carried a book. In fact, I took with me 8 books and came back with 2, this one and the one I read last night. I also took some puzzle books with me, which came in on the trains. We had some battery powered packs. There's some bags and things I picked up with. In fact, that bag is left over from Japan and we found it in our bag. So bags, little leaflets that we picked up about different places. And I did take some games, Yahtzee, which we didn't play and probably does need to be taken again, Uno, which we enjoyed playing, and a pack of cards. So probably next year I'll probably only just take a pack of cards. I also had a tiny first aid kit which I put together when we went to America, and then we've used every holiday since. The mallet for the tents. We did purchase some extra batteries because we each had a head torch and then a magazine, and then wherever I go in the summer holidays I always recommend taking a blow up ball. A ball, you can have fun wherever you are. And then lastly was this snorkel. And this snorkel we bought in Menorca. I was determined to use it, especially in the next place we went to. The next country was the main purpose of our holiday, travelling from Venice all the way to Slovenia by train. We saw this beautiful mural when we stopped on the way to our holiday destination of Lake Bled. We bought very little extra on our travels, but we did purchase these badminton rackets, and so they too can be stored in the cloakroom. Camping Lake Bled was a lovely campsite, a very big campsite right on the lake, which a lot of people enjoyed. As you can see, we had Bled cake and we ate very well. The campsite restaurant was incredible. This is the meal on our first night. Incredible food and a beautiful lake to swim in and enjoy. I wonder if you can see that castle on the left-hand side on the top of the hill. Well, the following day after arriving, we walked up and explored the castle. It was incredible. It gave us beautiful views down on to Lake Bled. We were, as I said, incredibly blessed with sunshine and very, very little rain, just the odd rainstorm at night time when we were in our tents. And beautiful views out the back of the castle as well, looking out over Slovenia and the mountains. We enjoyed a trip rafting down a river and getting to see more of Lake Bled. Obviously, when we're travelling by foot, there's only so much we can explore. So this was quite fun, travelling in this truck out to the river and then rafting down it. As I said, we travelled up to the castle on the left side of the lake, and another day on the right side of the lake you can see this church, which is the Church of the Assumption. It's based on an island, and we decided to hire a boat and boat over to the island. It's only reachable by rowboat. It's also reachable by swimming, and we did swim to the island later in the afternoon. The tale says that a sorrowful widow whose husband was killed by bandits in the castle actually cast a gold bell for this church from all of her coins, and it was sunk. The boat sunk that was travelling across to put it in the church, but the Pope sent another one, and it's believed that if you ring that bell, your wishes will come true. As you can see from the island, it's a beautiful view. This is just the way back to the campsite, the route that we swam back. The lake was stunning. We enjoyed hiring a rowboat, we enjoyed swimming in the lake, seeing the views, eating the gorgeous food, hiring sups, all the different activities that we could enjoy at Lake Bled. We'll definitely be returning, but all too soon it was time to start making our journey home. It was back onto the train for us, but before I tell you where we got off the train next, back to me telling you what we took with us. Let me share with you now what we used to eat. And we took with us this camping stove, which wasn't the easiest thing to pack, but one of our children carried it. The only problem was that you couldn't take gas on the Eurostar, so we were able to take the cooker, but we weren't able to take the gas with us, and we did struggle to find gas. We only found gas when we got to Lake Bled, and before that, in Lake Como, we couldn't get gas, but we could get different gas canisters for this tiny little stove. This stove turned out to be pretty brilliant, and randomly I've already got 2 of those other stoves, so I think we're going to declutter or offer around to family and friends one of the other stoves. Just keep one of those and then keep this stove. It's a lot lighter, and I really wish we hadn't taken the other one with us, but we didn't know about this stove until we went, so you learn things as you go, don't you? This stove, I'm just going to give it a quick wipe over with the disinfectant. It's now cooled down a lot since I did the mattresses, bed mats. I'm just going to leave that out here to dry, and then I'm going to put that away in my camping box, and that's how easy it is to store that. That can go away in the camping box. We left Lake Bled travelling over the Alps, and we ended up that night in another country. We ended up in Germany and in Munich, where we enjoyed the evening walking round Munich, seeing the beauty of that place. And then the following morning, we took a trip to the BMW factory, a place that I know my dad would have absolutely loved and would probably have spent all day there. We just spent the morning, but it was lovely seeing all the cars. So I think I left you in Munich, and the last bit of our trip I'll share with you in a moment, but I just wanted to share with you the last bit of unpacking that I need to do. I still need to disinfect the back of these mattresses, but as you can see from my attire, it's a few days later. I've done a bit of ministry in between. It's been a good week actually in ministry. I do enjoy my job, so it is nice to be back, but there's still a little bit of unpacking to do. But I want to share with you, so these are the rucksacks that we took with us. We had 3 65-litre rucksacks and then just a smaller 35-litre rucksack for my youngest child. This blue one here was incredibly heavy, but as you can see, it had this strange bit at the front that I thought was a pocket, but actually wasn't a pocket. It was just kind of like an air hole, maybe? I don't really know. Not the best rucksack in the world. This was my husband's rucksack, but he did like the colour. Another of our rucksacks, a very good rucksack, actually the rucksack that we used when we travelled round Japan. And then I got this new rucksack, which I thought was absolutely fantastic. The pockets, the zips, the straps, everything, the weight of it. I have learnt my lesson to get a very lightweight rucksack, but the pockets were, as I'm showing you here, there's various pockets that are very handy, and it was a brilliant rucksack to have. And then just the smaller 35-litre rucksack for my youngest child. We also have with us in our family what we term in our family man bags, but I have one, and both my children had them as well. And so just a little bag with our carry-on stuff. You know what I carry in there. I showed it you last year when we went to Japan. We also had our wash bags. Obviously mine was slightly larger than everybody else's, because I carried the suntan lotion, the bite, the after bite, all those extra things that you need as family after sun. But you took my wash bag with me and actually made use of every product that I took in there. So I was very proud of myself for doing that. But then in addition to that, I did take some extra bags as well. And that's my canvas bags that I took. I can't find the other one that I took with me. I took this one with us, two canvas bags, and actually one of the days in Venice we forgot these, so I ended up getting another one. And now I don't really like buying souvenirs. There's very few souvenirs that I buy on holiday, partly because we didn't want to carry much more stuff, but I thought this was quite a fun tote to buy. It's an Italian tote, so that will add to our shopping bag collection, and so I ended up carrying that. And then I also took these little bags to carry vegetables in, and actually didn't make too much use of those, so I probably will only take one of those next time we go away. But they're the bags that I took with us as well. And so that's everything apart from the tents that we took with us. And from Munich we travelled to Paris, spending a night in a hotel next to the Stade de France. So there you have it. That's our European tour that we did this summer. It was a wonderful 2 weeks of annual leave. I hope you've enjoyed seeing where we went on our interrailing trip around Europe last summer. I hope you too enjoy some adventures as you declutter your lives and have less. You don't need very much to have an adventure. Take care, God bless. See you again soon. Bye.